Hey, kids, you like that rock and roll?
Don't worry, don't be afraid, ever. This is just a ride.
On the program this evening,
Four Brothers Podcast.
Welcome to the Four Brors Podcast in fucking...
Where the fuck are we today, mate?
Where the fuck are we? I don't know. We've been kidnapped for once. Yeah. We've been fucking kidnapped.
We're in the hideout.
This is the welcome to the new IRA. And I'll edit that out if you want, Davy. Sorry. All right. Just to introduce Davy Holden. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for having
us, you down. Thank you for having us, you down.
Yes.
I was just about to say I'm delighted to be here, but like I'm at home.
Turn up in my house.
Yeah, so we're in Kilkenny. Davy Holden, YouTuber, Irish history. You were doing music.
Originally, yeah. I started out my channels as a music channel. So when I got into videography about 4 years ago, I wanted to start a channel. So I was thinking, right, what will I do? So the obvious thing to me was to start like a guitar channel. And I did that for about just under 2 years. And then I kind of got a little bit bored of it because I was like, I love playing guitar and all that kind of thing, but I was just giving like guitar lessons online and I was like, this is doing nothing for me now. And, you know, as much as I love playing music and stuff. Yeah. And then I started leaning into kind of Irish music. Yes. And then people were really enjoying that. And then I started telling the story of like Irish songs, like rebel songs.
Like rebels, yes, I've seen them. Yeah.
That kind of thing, which is basically just a history lesson in itself anyway. Yeah. And then from there on, it just kind of transitioned into just a history channel. Yeah. So it wasn't even an idea that I had. It just ended up going that way.
That's probably cool. I think that's the way most successful things go. Like they'll just take on a new thing themselves. Like this podcast was never supposed to be masks, balaclavas, you know. Well, and it, you know, it just sort of happened.
It was always going to be something like that one. I was always going to be covering
something unique,
covering our faces.
Definitely. And now we're here on a Irish history channel.
Getting a wee history lesson today, right?
Balaclavas. And there's guns on the wall over there.
No, there's not.
There are soft guns.
They're airsoft guns.
They are airsoft guns.
Are they?
Don't demonetize Davy Holden, please.
Boys, have you played airsoft?
No, but I've always wanted to. Like,
it looks like we do, doesn't it?
Just paintballs.
Yeah, just shitty paintball.
Yeah.
What's sore, paintball or airsoft?
I'd say airsoft. I haven't played paintball in about 10 years, I'd say, but I'd say airsoft, And it is
and do you do it quite frequently, yeah?
Nah, I only did it for the first time like a month ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is there a good place around here for it?
Wicklow is the closest to here, which is like an hour and a half away from here, but it's unreal.
So
I'd love to do it.
What way is it? Is it like teams, or is it just one team against the other team, or is it? What do you mean? Is it just teams?
Is it just teams?
The time I done it was just like two teams.
Two teams.
Yeah. It was class. And you're just given like bring your own guns, or they supply with guns, and it's basically just pellet guns, but a hell of a lot stronger. And it is some laugh, like especially when you go with your mates and you all work together, like it is.
Because they do like try to do like tactical situations, not like as if you're in a proper environment in a, you know, that'd be
And if you get shot, is that you done? Like, are you out? Is that you out of the game? Like,
depends on the game. Sometimes you're given like unlimited lives. Sometimes you have like 3 or 4 lives. There is objectives as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like there's objectives for the game, but I never really paid attention to them. I just go around shooting lads.
Like, and the ghillie suits and all, you know, the fucking in the grass.
So cool. Snipers and shit.
That'd be class. Like, would you ever recreate like the 1916 Easter Rising?
Jesus Christ!
Let's go into it.
That would be some laugh. If I was president, I'd make that game up and up.
That'd be class.
I don't think they have a fucking bank down there though. Do they hold up?
Oh fuck!
You know what I mean? Fuck's sake.
So, what Irish history? What's been your like favorite thing that you've sort of talked about recently?
For me, I try and cover everything as much as I can, like, you know, because I love all eras of Irish history. But I suppose for me it's War of Independence, so like 1919 to 1921. And the reason for that, I suppose, is because it's local to me, you know. Well, it's local to everywhere in Ireland, you know. You can go anywhere. Like if I walk out of my home house, right, I live in the back arse of nowhere, right, out in the countryside, but within like 4 or 5 miles of my house, like I've 2 memorials for the War of Independence, and I'm from the middle of nowhere. Like South Kilkenny isn't the cream of the crop when it comes to War of Independence. You know what I mean? Like if you're in Cork or Tipperary, you're going to get it everywhere, like nearly every crossroads, you know. But where I come from, like it wouldn't have been a hugely active area, but yet you know, I've so much even
here it's still it's class, like I mean,
for example, where we are in Kilkenny right now, right in the middle of the city, outside, I'm giving away the address now, on this road, right, was one of the first altercations of the Civil War.
Fuck.
right on this road.
Fuck.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just
And how-
surrounded by it. Like it's
And how did
everywhere.
that go? Do you know?
Pro treaty overpowered them.
Right.
Yeah. So that was before the Civil War officially began. It was like the end of March, start of April. But yeah, that's nuts. Just right on this road, like.
It's insane.
I
like,
don't
isn't
know
it?
much about Irish history at all. Like
Yeah.
is that 1919 or something?
The
when it
Civil
started?
War just there. That was 1922
Yeah.
to
It's
23.
just treaty then.
Yeah.
And would see the treaties like it's a hard thing to know which side you would have been on back then because okay, yeah, it stopped yeah, it did stop like killing and stuff, but not really. You
Yeah.
know, down here maybe more so than up north, but it's like what side would you think you would have been on back then?
Oh, landmine of a question. There's so many factors. Like I suppose where you come from as well is a big part of it. You know.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
it has-
what you were told at that time as well, like depending on your age and shit, you would just
Yeah.
go by what everybody else around you is doing.
yeah,
But also,
right.
there's all this fighting, there's all this war and death, and you know, for a long time, and then you've got this, you know, this thing hanging over your head. Like, do you want it to stop right now? You can, you know, even though it didn't, it
Yeah.
just sort of put a stop to some parts of it.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it's definitely a hard question. Like
Yeah, and as brutal as the War of Independence was, like the Civil War was worse, you know,
Yeah.
and that was only a 10-month period, really, officially,
Yeah.
you know, and it split families, like, you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking right.
Yeah.
And then up
Yeah.
north, obviously, all that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other mess
Oh,
up there.
other mess up
Yeah.
there. Like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's unreal, yeah, because like I call the 1920s recent Irish history, but sure,
Yeah.
if you're up north, like you've far more recent history than us.
Right enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like even as recent as we were telling you before, like our parents were in the Troubles and came down to the estate we live in from the Troubles because it was like a little estate made for
It
people.
was like
to
a
sort of-
mass exodus, you know. There was like just a few towns and villages near us where like an exodus of families from Belfast to get away from the Troubles just brought their kids, you know. There's like,
Yeah.
fuck it, you know,
There
get away from
there
it.
was
like.
estates threw up and you know no time for them to like you know let's go down to these council estates and get away from it.
Yeah, so your family originally from Belfast, and then
Yeah.
So our mum's from Ardoyne, which at the minute is like there's a big thing going on there with the 12th. So they're trying to march through Ardoyne, and then Ardoyne's having none of it, and then this is a big conflict, like you know, working the march and working the not and stuff. But you know,
No, and you can't get to the Chinese on those days at all. Like
terrible, isn't it?
when they're marching,
the
like
worst
I
of
see
it.
when the orange parade's marching, like, and you want to go get a Chinese. Nah,
Not happening.
not happening.
all
That's-
closed.
Closed roads,
That's
and you're
it.
like, but
On
and
that
it's like,
day, I'm really Catholic.
tough shit, like,
I was like, fucking no Chinese.
no fucking Chinese, like.
Fuck us.
What?
Fucking
Fucking hell. Well,
come out, you black and tans. Come out. Give me my Chinese.
fucking tell you, like, it's wild. It's fucking wild. For what?
I know, like, and I might cut this out. We've a wedding on the 12th of July. And,
Yeah, cut that
it's like, I don't know how we're getting there, you know. This may be the last
Do you know
wedding
how
we
we're
do for
getting
a
there?
while.
We're not.
We'll get march there. Just
We're not going.
join
We're not going.
just join every march the whole way.
We're not going. Like, it's gonna be a bad bad day.
Yeah, it's gonna
Someone's
shit,
wedding's getting ruined. Like, do
Where are those guys?
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
And it is weird doing a wedding in balaclavas, but you know, we do take them off. We
Yeah,
take 'em
but even at that, like I'm trying to educate myself a lot more, like on that conflict, like you know, because we wouldn't be educated really much in it
No,
down here.
no.
Not really. Like I mean, what you'd learn in school, which
Yeah.
is fairly basic.
Yeah.
Unless you go out and like actually read books yourself, you're probably
Yeah.
not going to know a huge amount, right?
Yeah,
You know, 'cause
so
we didn't grow
any
up with it.
subject that you've interest in, like school doesn't really give you the depth that you need if you want to really truly know
Yeah,
what happened.
definitely,
like.
definitely.
Yeah.
You gotta do it yourself, like.
I
you know.
mean, Battle of
100%.
Hastings, 1066, guys. Battle of Hastings. Did you learn that down here?
In school.
There you go. He
No.
didn't learn that.
There you
That's
go.
like
Why would he?
that's what I mean. It's British. That's
Yeah, he
British
wouldn't learn
history
any of that here.
because we learn British history in our schools up there as well as Irish history.
But not much Irish history, to be
What
fair.
Irish history do you learn in school?
Just independence, 1916. that's
Famine
it.
as well.
Right.
Famine.
Is it the famine
Yeah,
as
but
well?
we'll learn the famine.
And then it's mostly just World War II shit.
And
Really?
Yeah.
and there's not much on the Troubles. Maybe a wee bit.
not
It
really,
depends
no.
what school you go to.
Yeah,
we
not
went to
really.
a Catholic school.
So did I, but
you
I
kind
can't
of get
remember
it.
the Troubles being talked about.
Nah.
Like,
Not
I
much.
don't
The touch on it,
in
like
history, like.
yeah, the touch on it.
Actually, maybe more in religion. To be honest, in religion class, our religion teacher would have went off on like wee stories with the troubles and all.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have got that in history class, which is funny.
No.
Yeah, you really just need to do your own research, don't you? Because even in school, like a lot of people ask me, like, where did you study history? What college did you go to? I didn't even do history for my leaving cert.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I gave it up after third year. I just didn't really, not that I didn't like it, I just didn't really have the interest in it. I was just interested in reading books myself outside of school.
I think that's the best way to do it, to be honest. Like.
Although, when growing up, like when your family's actually had first-hand experience in that, it is nice to get stories and like, you know, like one of our uncles was shot with a rubber bullet when he was in the crib. You know, it came through the window and fucking bounced. I think lucky it ricocheted because it would have been full force onto him unless like, but yeah, just things like that, like, you know.
That's nuts. Where was that?
That would have been, they were living in Turf Lodge, I think, at the time. So it's it's pretty much West Belfast is split into, there's a north of West Belfast is pretty much all Protestant, and the south of West Belfast is all Catholic. And then there's the Falls Road, and then along that road, there's a peace wall. And that's where all the conflict happened, on that Falls Road, pretty much between, you know, that's where all the paramilitaries were deployed and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty mad shit. Like I watched a movie the other night called 71. Have you ever watched that?
71, I don't think so.
It's a good one. Like, it's about a British soldier that he comes over and he sort of, they go to like a protest and he gets sort of lost from his battalion or whatever it is, and he's just through the streets of Belfast fighting for his life. It's a good film, like, it's well done, but it just shows you like it's a madness back then, like
The side,
it was a war,
two
like,
sides of it, like
yeah, it was a war.
the brutality.
At the end of the day, war's war, isn't it? Like? And whoever's right or wrong, at the end of it all, it's fucked.
Yeah,
Not right.
What really
It's
comes
not
from
right.
it,
Like,
it's just blood, and that's why it fucking stays for a long time. You know, I mean, it doesn't. You know, it could have came from nothing.
Yeah.
But a
We
fucking
grew up in a-
silly
well,
order.
Civil War's a mad one, I just think, because
Yeah.
like there is a big difference.
Well,
I
that is a
believe
civil
in,
war,
that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. So like that's why Civil War's a mad one to be. So like I think there is a big difference between fighting a conflict on your land that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You know, like if something's coming into your territory and saying this is mine now, like from antiquity, everyone's fought that. Doesn't matter where it is or who it is. You fight for to keep people out of your home, you know.
Yeah.
But the Civil War thing has happened all over the world, and it's still happening all over the world.
Well, that's
But
like a
it's
byproduct of what happens
exactly,
after, isn't
because
it?
then but that's the part that needs to be, I think, addressed more. Because if you're living in the same domain as people, you have to get along. That's it. You know, you can have different ideologies and you can have whatever the fuck you want, but at the end of the day,
Speaking by
you
a
have
person,
to stay.
by the
You
way,
have to
you know,
respect it.
who sit next to a person hasn't got along with in years. just two people that just don't get along.
Good point.
In the one house, never mind a domain. You and David fucking at each other's throats. You might as well be
What are
fucking
you
East
talking about?
Belfast, West
I
Belfast.
love
when's
that
this
man.
now? I love you too.
I love that man.
See, they're trying to start shit. He's the fucking tyranny. He's the outside tyrant. That's the tyranny there. Like,
Actually, these days,
that's a very good
these
metaphor.
days it's
You're
more
the
me and you
fucking.
at each
You're
other's
coming to the
throats.
fucking shores trying to fucking start shit. My God.
These days, we're
Terrible.
more likely to have a scrap.
Well, we always have scraps, you know.
It's about to be a Civil War
No, I
kick off in here now.
The fuck? Don't you come
Right.
over the side of the table anymore?
What the fuck is
Sign the treaty.
You
That's
fucking
it.
pick a side, cunt. Right? Come on over here.
I'm on my side.
Come on over here.
I love all my
He's
brothers.
staying right here.
I'm on my side.
Fuck's sake.
So you're into Phil Lynott?
Yeah, massive
Yeah.
Tin Lizzy fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Us too. We fucking.
Jake,
Yeah,
take off
Thin
your
Lizzy's
mask.
fucking class. Like,
I grew up with
Show
all my
him.
parents' music, like
Yeah.
even today, like all the music I listened to was before I was even born, you know. Like
Yeah.
I grew up on Rory Gallagher, Tin Lizzy. Then my mother's side was mostly American. It was like the Doors, the Doobie Brothers,
Yeah.
Stevie Ray
Yeah.
Vaughan, all this stuff.
Can't beat it, like.
Yeah, my father was massive into Irish music though. Yeah. Like Tin Lizzy was one of my favourite bands.
yeah,
ever,
Thin Lizzy's
even
class.
till
Like,
today.
They are.
Yeah,
amazing,
they're
like.
amazing. Like,
Unbelievable.
Like I was saying to you beforehand, like when Jake was younger, he was called Phil Lynott, like because he
No.
played bass.
no idea what you're talking about.
he looked exactly
no idea
like
what you're
him.
talking about. Nope. Nope.
That's
This is the
Jake.
shite.
Afro
This
and
is the
his-
shite
and
he
his
talks.
skinny
I just don't know why it comes out of
tight
him. Who knows? Like,
leather jeans or
Phil Lynott is one of the biggest legends in Irish
Yeah.
music history. Like he's unreal.
I was actually only watching.
and what
some
age was he? 27 club? No.
No,
What is he
was
now?
27. I don't know what he was
He was a
older.
bit older, yeah.
He was
What
older.
age?
Yeah.
Someone.
I'd say 30 something,
Pull that up.
36 maybe.
27 Club.
No, he wasn't part of 27.
Was he out of his 30s? Like
It was. No, he was in his 30s.
he was in his
Yeah.
30s, was he?
Yeah,
When he
I
died.
think so, yeah. I don't know exactly what age he was.
And what was it? Drink or?
It was drugs and drink, wasn't it? Heroin
I
and
think what officially killed him, I think, was it pneumonia, I think?
Really?
So that's
Yeah.
what it says on a death certificate, but
Yeah.
it's probably like complications of like
pneumonia
Yeah.
from lung collapsing or fucking whatever else.
years of abuse. Yeah,
He had a tough life, like, in fairness to him, yeah.
yeah.
He made the most of it.
Yeah,
He's
had fun.
fucking-
Like
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only through watching your videos recently on it, like I only understood that he is a big, like, Irish sort of Republican sort of guy as well. Like he would have been very staunch Irish.
Yeah,
you know?
I didn't know that until like a few years ago, to be honest with you. Until I watched like a documentary on him. He was like massively into Irish history, which you can kind of see now in his music. I never really thought about it at the time. But yeah, he's big fanatic of Irish nationalism and all that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. There's like an interview with him, a woman. She just like called him British, and he's like, "No, fucking Irish. I'm Irish."
Yeah. There's a couple of interviews of Phil Lynott alone where interviewers called him British or whatever.
Yeah.
He's just like, no, I'm Irish.
Yeah.
that's the same as Cillian Murphy and that. Like he did.
Aye.
Killian's the same. Yeah.
Do you like Grand Slam then? What do you think of that?
Grand Slam?
Yeah, Phil and its other band.
Not really. Like the other bands, I don't really listen to that.
Never really heard him. Yeah,
You remember?
I heard Phil Lynott by himself.
I remember he had a band called Grand Slam.
Did he?
Yeah, he had a band called Grand Slam.
There's
as
the
well,
Black Eagles, Skid Row,
Skid Row I've heard of.
and then he
Yeah.
has solo stuff as well. But yeah, mainly just Thin Lizzy, really. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
no,
also like,
all his solo stuff and other stuff outside of Thin Lizzy is good, like, but
Yeah.
you can't beat Thin Lizzy, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's so good.
unreal. Especially with Gary Moore. Gary Moore is my favorite guitar player ever. Like
He's class.
Is Gary Moore the one with no fingers? Who is that? Like
That's not
someone has
Gary
the tip
anymore.
of their
One with no
fingers.
fingers,
No fingers, but the tip of their fingers are
No,
cut off.
that's Tony Iommi from
Oh,
Black
so
Sabbath.
It is.
No, Gary Moore. Yeah, he's got a scar on his face. You know.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
there's
got in a
something
bar
about him in
fight,
there.
wasn't it?
I think it was a bar fight in London, but I don't
Yeah.
really know the ins and outs of it. But I think it was in the 70s or something. But yeah, he's a fucking great guitar player. Like
He was unreal. Yeah, I actually have his signature Gibson Les Paul.
you do.
Yeah, nice.
yeah.
Unless keep forgetting this in your place. It's like, oh, show me it. Where is it? That's class. Yeah. What would be your favorite Thin Lizzy song?
Oh man, that is tough. I love Southbound,
Southbound.
Emerald, The Rocker, Johnny the Fox meets Jimmy the Weed. That's 4 songs, but
You can't just pick one.
It's hard to pick, isn't it, like?
They are
Any
they are
band, really.
arguably the biggest rock and roll band ever from Ireland, wouldn't it be? Like,
Yeah.
You too. You can't.
Oh, you too,
can't.
yeah, you
Even
too.
though I fucking hate you two.
I don't mind them.
I hate them.
I like some
I
of their
really
songs.
don't like them. It's just subjective taste. I
alright,
suppose
like-
I don't like them.
I like their music, but
One's-
Bono's
I
a bit
don't
of a
like
prick.
any of
but
their fucking music.
their
I like
music.
one U2 song, The Sweetest Thing. That's it.
Bloody
Other than
Sunday.
that,
Bloody Sunday's
like
class.
it.
I love
Just
that
don't
song.
like it.
Massive.
But anyway, they are arguably the best. Technically the biggest.
Biggest, yeah.
Yeah. There's
By numbers, like.
there's this big toss up between Rory Gallagher and Tin Lizzy from their
Yeah.
era,
Ah,
say,
yeah.
of like who was like
Rory
the best.
Gallagher's the man. Like,
Rory Gallagher's amazing, but would Thin Lizzy be more well known than Rory Gallagher?
do you mean more well known as a musician or more well known as an Irish musician? Because a lot of people would like Thin Lizzy and not have a clue that there were anything to do with Ireland.
Yeah.
Americans
Yeah,
and shit. They're just
probably,
be like,
yeah.
oh, Thin Lizzy's clap. They have no idea that he's Irish.
The boys are back in town. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Funny
Whereas
thing
Rory
about, like-
Gallagher was just you know he's Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like Tin Lizzy, like you'd fill in it. Obviously, he was Irish, and then Gary Moore was in and out of the band a few times. He was
Yeah,
Irish,
yeah.
but then the rest were like American, Scottish,
Yeah.
they're all from UK,
Yeah.
really. Like
And
not
And
even mixed. wasn't it?
they still go on tour, don't they? Without filling it sometimes.
Yeah,
I
I
have no
saw
idea.
Tin Lizzy. Oh man, it must be 7 or 8 years ago now. It was
Yeah.
just Brian Downey, the drummer from the original
Just
band.
the drummer left.
Yeah, it's funny, like, isn't it?
Yeah, Scott Gorham wasn't there. I don't know why, but I don't know
Just
where
the
Scott
old-
Gorham is now. To be honest, what country he's even living in. But
What?
yeah, it was Brian Downey. I got to meet him and all after.
Who
the gig.
sings for them and all? Like, is it the?
I can picture him, but I don't know what his name is.
Suppose they might
Is
get
he famous,
different-
like, or is he just a
I don't know.
replacement? You
No,
know?
he's just a replacement.
He's not like a lookalike. He's not like.
No,
No, I don't mean looking like. Do you know the way like
Probably just sings
Queen
really-
replaced fucking Freddie Mercury with an already famous singer?
Adam.
Yeah,
You know,
gotcha. I
in
actually
that
don't know who
way.
he is, to be honest.
I thought you were going to say the Queen was replaced. Yeah.
She was replaced many times over.
Yeah. By just a
That was a clone. Like,
puppet. Yeah. Moving on. Yeah, Thin Lizzy, like. I don't know. Northern Irish is Gary Moore Northern Irish?
He's from Belfast.
Yeah, he's from
Aye,
Belfast.
Yeah, he's Belfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you've got Van Morrison.
Van Morrison, yeah.
Van
Also from
Morrison.
Belfast, is
Van
he?
the
Not
Man.
Belfast. He's from. Where is he from? Fuck's sake.
Ballymena, no.
Something like
No,
that.
that's
something
Liam-
like,
that's
but it's
Liam
something
Neeson,
like,
I
but it
think.
is something like that, like Bangor or Ballymena or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't Belfast. Yeah. Is it Ballinhinch? Something like that. It is. It's one of them weird places.
I met a guy once. He was a mental health patient, and he invited me to his house.
Himself in the mirror.
Yeah, he invited me to his house, and he was like best friends with Van Morrison when they were young. And I went to this guy's house. Is what he was called, right? And
Got it.
no, fuck him. He's dead now.
Is that guy that molested you?
It's bringing back memories.
What did you?
No, it was consensual. He brought me.
them stories, but
Yeah, he brought me, like, this is how it happened. I was playing drums. I used to, like, I'm a guitar player now, but I used to play drums, and I was just playing drums in like a Belfast music shop, and he came in, and he's just a crazy man, like just like in the corner, like, and he just came over to me and was like, "Come on back to my house, man." I was just young and impressionable. I was like, "Fucking yeah, adventure, let's do it."
What?
Me and a couple of school friends just went to his house, and he was a hoarder. Like, you couldn't move in the house, and he was just showing us like pictures with him and Van Morrison.
Dude, he'd sell
And,
it to Just cut Van Morrison out of magazines and stuck them on the pictures.
He's got
I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, he's got like flakes of skin of Van Morrison. Like that's from 1995. But yeah, he's like, if you look him up, he's got like
He
music.
thought
and
he
all.
was Jesus.
Yeah, he thought
he was Jesus
he did.
incarnate.
He did.
He was in. I was telling you at the time, stop going there.
Is this that guy
'Cause he's
that
gonna
was
get you.
drawing or painting weird fucking paintings and all as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he has a. If you look him up on Spotify, he's called.
You have wrapped yourself in a butcher's apron, boy.
And yeah, he thought he was Jesus.
He's got
But-
music and shit.
Yeah.
If someone
Really?
said that's
I
the
wanna listen
immediate
to that
red
shit.
flag, like if you think you're Jesus, I'm done.
But then, you know what's funny? There was a friend then that is a healthcare worker, and this guy, about 10 years later, ended up working in this mental health home, or he ended up being in a mental health home where this guy worked, and this guy was talking to me about this guy before, and he's like, "Oh, you want to see this guy?" I said, "He was fucking man." I was like, "Why did I know that name?" And I was just remembered. I was like, "Jesus Christ, that guy, I was in that guy's house, you know." But he ended up in a psych ward, like.
Yes.
And then he's dead.
He did. Yes.
He's dead now.
We all knew that. Like that's like even then we're just like, this is nuts. Like, stay away from this guy. And you're just like, but he's all right. He's
You were his
he's not
prey.
making you this. Like, nah, like
He had
he's
a
gonna
gentle
take you
touch.
to the basement.
Yeah,
Like,
gentle touch.
Jesus Christ.
And he had
On your bum.
yeah, and he had the best date rape.
Yeah, you don't remember them. You don't remember
remember
them. Just put on Van Morrison in the background.
There'll be days like
Sweet
this.
thing, like.
So,
Stop it.
how's YouTube going, Davy?
YouTube, it's good. It's definitely the toughest of all the apps.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
big time. Like the first thing I suppose to take off for me was TikTok.
Yeah.
And then that's kicked off nearly straight away, like in the first couple of months.
Yeah.
And then
How many
Instagram,
followers you
like,
got on TikTok?
now?
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm actually not really sure, to be honest. It's over 200k.
He's got
now.
that many guys. He don't even fucking look at it. It's just like
I
I'm
don't
like,
really look at
every
TikTok
single
much.
wee follower. I'm like, oh, guys, we've got another one.
No, he's not. I promise.
It's somewhere between 200k and 210.
That's pretty cool. Like.
That is good. Like.
But TikTok was the first one, yeah, and then Instagram took like a year. I was uploading about 5 days a week on Instagram for a solid year before anything,
Yeah.
and it was like a year isn't actually that long when you think about it. But like when you're uploading 5 days a week, it's tough going.
Well,
You're
it is.
getting no
Like,
results.
TikTok gives you it, like you said, it does give you like something for your work. You put it and you'll get instant like feedback, which is great. It's great for like when you're putting out a sketch or a new video and you want some feedback straight away. If you're not sure if it's funny or not, or in your case, you know, historic enough.
Interesting.
But yeah, there was barely anything on Instagram. Like it's like one like here, one like there. You know,
It's tough. Like YouTube is similar, I suppose. YouTube's
Yeah.
probably a little bit more forgiving than Instagram, maybe even.
just a little. Yeah,
A little bit. Yeah, especially with shorts. Like YouTube shorts are good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Do you-
We don't do that enough.
Do you notice it's like sometimes there'll be a video and you'll like, why is this one doing well and this one didn't? It's like,
It
gee,
doesn't matter.
that's what I mean.
is.
But it's
It
like
doesn't matter.
sometimes you can create a video and it can be to a guarantee you've made like a viral video and and it does well.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you create a video and it's like, what's good about this video? Why is it doing well? And it's doing really well.
It's just the nature of it.
Strange. Like.
That was head wrecking for me at the start, yeah, because I'd put like hours and hours into editing a video, thinking like, oh, this is great, people are going to really like this, and then it just flops like and nobody cares.
Yeah.
And then you put like 20 minutes into a video and it goes viral.
That's it.
Yeah.
How does this keep happening? Like, and it happens like that every time. Like.
Yeah.
It's strange, isn't it? It's just what catches people's, like, I know we were talking about this on the last podcast, or the podcast before, but that Hawk 2 girl.
Oh yeah.
Like, even for the people that were interviewing her, because I'm sure it went up on their page first, do you know what I'm saying? And they would have got the majority of the first views there. I'm sure they've put up thousands and thousands of clips of interviewing people outside bars, and could probably be way better and funnier than the Hawk 2 girl.
Yeah.
But that one just worked.
Yeah.
That just went massive.
It's the innocence
You know
of
what I
it.
mean?
It's
And the reason why is no reason at all.
There is no reason. That's what it just worked.
That's it. Like,
It just worked.
Just
It was just the
happened
one
like
that went viral.
could
You know
have
what I
been
mean?
anything. Like.
Yeah, it is actually true. Like when I started off doing this, one of my friends, he's from, whereabouts is he from? Banbridge. He actually said to me, "Is like, just if you get like one video," because I was like losing faith at this point. I was like, "Why is Instagram just not working?" Like, you know.
Yeah.
And then he actually just said to me, he said like one video can literally just, sounds a bit cringe, but it's actually true. He said like one video can really change your life. Like,
Yeah.
really, really
100%,
can.
like.
Yeah.
And it's so true. You know, that's the way like Instagram works. You'll just post and post and post, and nobody cares. Nobody's even seen it in the first place. And then you'll start to get a bit of traction, and then boom, your page will just like kind of take off. That's kind of what happened to my Instagram page. It took off. It shot from like, I think I was at 2,000 followers at the start, and it shot up to about 30k in the space of maybe 2 weeks.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's going to happen to us then, yeah. We're on 2,000 now, so get it happening, folks.
But the good thing about it taking a while as well is by the time your page does start growing, you'll have a catalogue of content there. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you'll have
That's
a huge
what it
amount.
is.
We
Like,
just
we're-
need to keep
so-
making 20-minute videos.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
30 seconds
seconds.
doesn't, yeah. Well, that's that. Like one of the best ones we've done is like 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
Couple of them, like.
Well, the best one so far is sucking your own dick. That's
On
got
Instagram?
that's got the most likes so far out of all the shorts.
Yeah,
You know,
that's,
that's why. But that's why.
Bastards.
That's why. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's shit like that seems to, anything with like sexual content seems to go quite viral.
Yeah.
Really?
All right, well,
Shocking.
there's Hawk
Anything
2. She's
shocking,
talking
I
about
suppose,
spitting on dick, and look how
Yeah.
viral that went. Do you know what I mean?
And then like you'll notice like a clip will do semi well, and one of ours just done, and we were talking about Hawk 2 girl, and then we're talking about like just dirty shit, Davy. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it, Davy. It's dirty. It's just old shite.
Don't be getting
What about Irish
embarrassed now,
history?
guys. Don't be getting embarrassed. Kicking his shoes on. He's like,
My face is red.
oh, sick.
What about Irish? What else about Irish history?
Yeah. Give us a lesson.
So,
Give us a
do
fucking
you,
lesson
do you
here.
know like much about ancient Irish history,
Like mythology?
fucking,
I don't really, I won't say it doesn't interest me. Of course it does, but
Like fairies and shit.
not mad into it. Like,
Yeah.
not mad into
I'm serious.
it, you know?
Oh, I know. I love
Changelings,
it all.
like
I love it
changelings,
all.
you know,
Yeah.
that really fascinates me. You know?
I would listen to
that
Blind.
men were allowed to murder their wife in ancient Ireland if they thought they'd been took over by a changeling. It was okay. So if your wife come home, right, and she was being a bit fucking mouthy, or not doing what she was told, or being a bit rebellious, she'd be like, "That's not my wife. She's been took over by a fucking changeling or a fairy. The fairies have her." So you were allowed to
That's
give her
it.
this poison that got rid of the fairy, but it killed her. In the
That's not
in-
my
in
wife.
the-
Yeah, you're just having dinner one day, and I never.
It's like,
take-
I'm not cooking today.
I
And you're
don't-
like, what the fuck?
It's just like I don't take my eggs like this. Ah, fuck up, will you?
Yeah.
Changing.
You're always fucking yapping, Seamus. You what? You know? It's like she's a fucking fairy. It happened a lot.
If they actually ever did have like a psychological fucking break or something, you know, they probably did. Just
Well, that's
like, oh,
different.
well,
That's
that's
different.
fucking.
That's
you
just
know,
a nice way of saying
that's-
mental, you know.
What do you mean?
Back then, like when
But
people
they
were
would
actually
know,
mental.
they would have thought they were probably overtook, you know, with whatever.
something, you know.
Yeah.
100%.
Autism back then, Martin, you'd be fucked. Martin
The
would
fucking there's devils in them.
be like.
I'd be burnt at the stake like a wizard.
You would definitely be one of
Wizard.
the boys
He's a
in
wizard, Harry.
300 that's just thrown off the cliff.
You were wrong, Leonidas. You were wrong. You are wrong.
You're a wrong manner.
Oh, sick.
Oh my god.
That's another mad one. That's fucking. They used to throw babies off the cliff if they weren't like any
Jesus.
deformity or like anything. It's like I fucking throw it off the cliff. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
Burn
a way,
people at stakes and
in a way though, like, eh?
What do you mean?
Eh?
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's a good way of sort of like, you know, winning out the week.
And now we're stuck with the Martins in one.
There was a reason all Spartans were fucking jacked. And,
I think
you know,
you'd be
genetic
like that with,
marvels.
I think you'd be like
and
that with any baby. If you had a kid, just be like, fuck. Oh, fuck.
it wouldn't get born. It would be killed before that.
Right.
Chris? Oh! Right, I'm flying. Fuck me. That's not going in. That's not going in. Fuck you.
Fuck up, will you?
Chris, that's not going in.
It's fine.
And that's our Irish mythology for today.
Oh, no.
That's a real lesson.
Nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Well,
No, fuck up, babies.
It's nothing wrong with it.
flagged.
All right.
It's literally a fucking. If it's so wrong, then why are people doing it? So like, there's literally that you can. If you have enough.
Who's doing this?
Here you go. Here you go. Shut the fuck up. Right, people, rich people, because only the rich are. It's so expensive. If you want 2 days,
Expensive
you
to throw
can
your child off a cliff?
You can go and metaphorically throw your child over a cliff. Yes, before it's even
Metaphorically.
born. Metaphorically,
Abortion?
by changing its DNA structure and picking its eye color, picking its hair color,
Oh, aye,
picking
yes,
its
yes.
stature,
Oh, aye.
picking taking out any fucking hereditary things
Super
like
babies.
MS and fucking spina bifida. All that shit can now be done in utero before the baby's born.
So it's like
Designer babies.
designer
So you're
baby.
getting rid of all the badness anyway. So you're doing the same thing,
Yeah.
just a bit more evolved.
So it's not like a random pick and mix you're getting from God. You're just being like, you're playing God and you're making your own
So
baby.
what it-
You're like,
Yeah.
fucking,
In my mind, they're throwing their babies off the cliff in their head.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
They're they're throwing away the
They're throwing.
unwanted.
They're throwing away
traits of the
what God had intended or whatever had been intended. Is that not going against?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Well, it's
if you're allowed
more-
to do that, then you can throw your baby off cliff.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true baby thrower, like over here. Fucking.
He's a fucking
Jesus Christ.
baby hater. I let this man mind my children.
Told you shouldn't have.
I let this man. Is there any wonder
They were
we're
fucking
giving him
afraid of
strange
it.
looks?
So we were starting down. The new, right? Fucking new. We're gonna get thrown off a cliff. They knew,
Don't let
man.
this man
They
throw
knew.
us.
Get over here.
Flagged.
Oh, very good. Very good. Oh,
Well, this went off the rails.
It always does. It
how
always
can
does.
that go off the rails if that's history? That's what happened. It's fact. It happened it happened in many parts of the world. Children that were born with deficiencies
Oh, I know,
or
I
weaker
know.
were killed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? History.
Yeah, but it's not a laughing matter.
Pretty funny. Pretty funny.
I don't think he laughed too hard.
Not hard enough. Fuck's sake.
Aye.
Yeah, let's get back to
Leprechauns.
leprechauns. Right.
Okay.
Let's go.
They were the ones that survived.
They got in the bushes.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I listened
Oh,
to
okay.
Blind Boy a lot, and
Yeah.
he would talk about ancient Irish history a lot, and it's quite interesting. Like,
He's mad into Irish history, actually, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's quite a teacher, like, isn't he? I don't really watch much of him, like, but I hear fucking you talking.
I haven't seen much of his podcast at all, actually, but I've seen a few clips online, like where he's
He's
talking
good,
about Irish
like,
history.
it's-
Remember he had that guy on? There was like a guy that was telling stories about all like banshees and ghosts and
Man
all,
called
and all
Megan.
stuff like that. Is that who it was?
no, I think so. Yeah.
That was a really interesting one. Like. I like that one. Like.
I love all that ancient Irish stuff, like ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts, Davy?
I don't know.
It's strange, like.
I don't really know. Put me in a fucking ancient castle on my own, yeah, I'll believe it then, like, you know? But every like day to day, nah.
Yeah, I had a ghost experience in a hotel where we're from, and
It's a very old building.
it's
like.
an old
Right.
building where you would expect things like this to happen, and I'm like sort of on the fence about everything. I'm sort of open-minded. I do believe in things, but I don't. So I don't know what to think this day. But it was an interview for Extravision. Remember Extravision?
Yeah.
Did you have Extravision down here?
Yeah.
And
We're not in fucking.
Ancient. This is ancient
well, I don't know.
history.
Blockbuster. It's Blockbuster in the UK, then, is it? Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was in an interview in this hotel. It's an old hotel we're from. Flag it. It's called. And I was upstairs in a conference room, and there was a glass of water just sitting on the table. Just went across the table like that, and I was like, Jesus.
Did you see this? Or
I
hear
seen it with my own eyes, and the interviewers were just like, it's been happening all morning. And I was like, what the fuck? And they just carried on like nothing happened, and then a jug started shaking. And I was like, what's going on? This is so strange. Like, I've never experienced anything. And because I have first-handly experienced that, in my mind, there's something. I don't know what it is. Might not be ghosts.
Might not be
Don't get me
ghosts in the
started.
sense that we think about it, like, but it could be ghosts in a
Start
sense
for me.
that, you know, I don't know, like fucking other
Spirits, like?
dimensions,
Yeah.
or maybe a spirit.
Well, yeah, like
trapped in.
they're coming
a
more to terms
dimension.
with the multiverse theory being real. So if there is an infinite amount of universes within our universe fractally that are all the same but different, then that means there's an infinite amount of Gareth sitting doing that interview, but slightly differently, and maybe it got crossed over a wee bit, and you happen to move the glass at that point, but it, you know,
Could be that.
We talked about that theory in the car the other day, me and Gareth, and talking about like the possibility of everything happening, anything and everything you could ever do. You know, like
Yeah.
right now, me getting up here, you know, stripping off my clothes naked and punching Martin, running out the door, fucking running into a bar.
That is highly
that might
likely.
happen.
That might be
That's
likely.
the kind of shit he does anyway.
You know, but like there's obviously realities where
Yeah.
things like that are impossible, like, you know,
Yeah.
because it's so improbable, you know.
But then, if something infinite, then the probability becomes probable no matter what it is,
Infinite.
because
But that's a scary
probability
thought,
for
then.
that to happen has to happen. If
So
it's
that's-
infinite, it has to happen.
So that's
you know?
a scary thought, though, you know. If
But none of it's real, really.
Not to us,
Yeah.
but to them it is.
Aye. But that might be
those
normal.
realities.
That might be normal in
You
that
know?
reality. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know?
I've only had one really weird experience, and it was only last summer, actually. I was in a bar in town here. It's an old townhouse from 1582, right? So it's like 440 odd years old. Sitting in the little cozy, right, at the back of the bar, sitting down having a couple of pints with a few lads, and there's this door into like a little closet in the corner of the room, and it just fucking burst open.
Yeah.
A chair that was inside in the room somehow fell over, knocked the door open, but like it burst open. That was the fucking freakiest thing I ever experienced now. And just because it's in a really old building, it makes it so much worse.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, why in an old place?
Always an old
Why in a really old place where that would be?
Every time.
Because
Why
again,
not in, like Asda?
like stored electricity and something after you turn the plug off, there's still electric running through that wire for a while, you know. Could be something like that. Like, just if something
Because of the
if something
footfall
that
of a-
happens, something big or something whatever the fuck happens in a certain point in reality, maybe there is
Energy left.
over from that, you know.
Could be, yeah.
Like-
that's stored up like electricity in a plug socket, you know, that doesn't dissipate
Yeah.
for a while.
So like,
Like, if everything's electricity, as Terrence Howard fucked it.
Fucking go.
Oh, here, fuck boys, did you watch a Terrence Howard thing on Joe Rogan?
Which?
Did you watch the new one with Eric Weinstein?
No, not yet.
Eric Weinstein came on to debate him. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Okay.
Terrence Howard. You don't know him,
No,
No.
he's an actor. He was a War Machine in the first Iron Man.
Never seen it.
No,
seen it.
turns out he's a genius. You ever watched Get Rich or Die Trying? 50
Yeah,
Cent?
yeah.
You know his friend in it who like has the mustache when he gets out of jail.
Yeah. Oh,
Him?
yeah. No, I
that's
do know.
Terrence Howard.
Yeah, yeah.
That's Terrence Howard. So it turns out he's like a mathematical or physics genius.
Right.
We just didn't know, and he has sort of like a theory that brings into question like the 5 platonic solids of math and reality and all the rest of it. And everyone at the start was kind of like, he's a lunatic because he's an actor, but like now that he's sort of coming out and saying all these things stably and with like, you know, some form of structure, some of it seems to be quite legit, you know, like an alternative way of looking at mathematics, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An alternative way of looking at a lot of things, you know, science and even like explaining that there's like gravity isn't the main factor in planets, that it's electricity, it's the pull of the planet, and that's what creates the gravity, you know. It's
Might not be correct.
might not be correct.
Might
like,
not
but
be correct.
It's nice
But
to
it's
look
interesting.
At, look at
It's
different
interesting, you know.
possibilities, and like we can't have all the answers at such an early fucking stage in science. Like
Nope.
we're staying stagnant. Like
No,
you know?
no
So it's
shit.
nice to look at other.
The fact
other
of how do we
people's
go at it,
opinions. And it's very
Every stab at
interesting, you know, because if he is right in any way, we're maybe on our way to a different, you know, a better way of looking at those things, you know.
Yeah. actually, story just popped into my head from the previous, what we were just talking about there. This is about 10 years ago, I'd say, or not far off it. I was at home, right, back in my home house in South Kilkenny, and I was with a friend of mine, and I was sitting at the kitchen table, say here, right, she was here, and there's a door out this way. She looked over my shoulder at one point, right, she didn't tell me this until later on the night. She looked over my shoulder and saw a person, right. She described the person to me later on. She said, like, real sallow skin, old man, jet black hair. Straight away, I was like, well, that's my granddad, who like died years ago, right? Went into a room in the house where I have a picture of him, and I showed her a picture of him, and she was like, I just said, is that him? She was like, yeah, that's him.
Fucking hell.
My granddad.
That's class.
Over my shoulder, out through, like looking out into the sitting room of my house.
Fucking hell.
Like she would have never seen him or
Like,
met him.
where's that theory come into that then? Why
What
would
theory?
he like the theory of electricity? Just why would
Well,
he?
not
show-
electricity. Electricity is a metaphor. I'm just
Yeah.
using electricity as like a metaphor.
But why would
stores in its
why
place,
would
so it
your
could be
granddad that's passed away show?
why not?
Yeah.
Maybe-
Because
maybe-
not show, it might not be him. It could be an imprint of him. You know what I'm saying? Because of what's happened. You know, because that person's lived there for so long. There's an imprint of their energy or their life force, whatever the fuck it is, in that place. They're not necessarily locally there.
Like on the day of my grandest funeral, I went over
the fuck knows?
to my nanny's house, and on top of the porch was a like an eagle or buzzard, whatever, like, you know. But like I was kind of wee saying,
Some like
you know,
a
it's
bird
just
you would never see
bird you
there
would
ever.
never fucking see in that, you know, just sitting right in
Like
the
a
porch,
bird of
like,
prey,
you know.
like,
Right.
Yeah, so that was like
and he was a bird of prey. he preyed on bottles of whiskey.
Yeah, it's weird though. Like I nearly forgot that story there, but like that freaked me out for ages.
It
But then
would,
after
like,
a
wouldn't
while,
it?
I was like, do you know what? It's a good thing, like, you know.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's another
Yeah.
mad thing. Like, it's there's some form of
Watching
fear
over you.
connected
There
to,
is.
to seeing something like that for some reason. Even though, again, I suppose it's because we're scared of the unknown, of something you don't understand. You're immediately scared of it. But like,
Yeah.
I've always said, like,
And we associate ghosts with the afterlife, which it may not be.
You know, but you're better off being afraid of the living, like, than the dead, isn't it? Because, like,
Yeah.
really and truly, what are they going to do? You know?
the,
Like,
the dead are the real ones that are living. We're just fucking sleeping. Like,
Preach.
we're just dreaming. Like,
Yep.
the dead, they're living.
There you go. David. I was going to say a second name there. David.
got the real life.
Whatever the fuck year it is.
2024.
2024. Jesus. Fuck me.
1990.
Do you ever think there'd be a United Ireland?
Oh man,
It's another loaded question. Like,
I think so, but I just don't know when. I have no idea when.
It
Like,
seems like-
will it be in our lifetime?
Maybe not. Like,
I don't know, but it seems
things move
like
too slow.
But it does seem like we're moving somewhere now in that direction. Maybe we'll move the other direction, but at the minute we are definitely moving towards the other direction because Brexit, because Sinn Féin is the majority now. It's things like that, you know. It doesn't seem impossible now, whereas 10 years ago, definitely I would be like, never.
Do you know what? See,
Burn it
at
all to
see
the
at this
ground.
stage in the world's growth, I don't care. Me personally, I don't care about a united
I
Ireland.
do.
I'll tell you why. It's because I think the world is eventually going to be so mixed that none of it matters. And I hope so. And I hope everybody gets over
Culturally, yeah.
over their fucking hills of, you know, problems with each other. Like, you know.
Well,
but like
yeah, but that's
culturally,
different. That's
we're gonna
different.
be so mixed
That's
that-
different, though. I'm proud of Irish history and
You know.
culture, and I hope that never dies.
Yeah.
Well,
No matter how many
that won't,
ethnicities
like-
are here, which
Yeah.
you know, it was fine. Like, it's just,
No one's history will die. Like,
yeah. But that's what I do love Irish history and culture, and
Culture may die. It's
culture could die.
well,
Culture
it
could
has
die.
died in like places like London, where
Culture
you
could
know
die.
there's too much cultures. It's just it's became no culture then, you know.
You get you, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, every street's a different culture, isn't it? Really. Like,
Yeah. But then again, I don't know.
What about you guys? What would you want, like, ideally?
Me.
I
32 County Ireland?
I
or-
would like United Ireland. I always have. Like, I'm not a staunch Republican or anything like that, and I don't have any animosity towards anybody. But I come from a background and a upbringing of loving Irish history and Irish people, and I think that would be a nice thing to see. Irish,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Depends. Yeah, it would be
a
cool to
full
see.
Ireland. Like,
It would be cool to see in a what's the
Suppose.
word? Romantic way, you know,
Yeah, it's
in a
definitely-
romanticized way. It would be nice to see like the end of a movie, you know, like the
Yeah.
fucking get a good end.
Whether or not it's for the best
but who
for
knows?
Northern
I
Ireland,
can't say.
it may bring about something even worse for Northern Ireland if that ever happens. You know, it might be another fucking civil war. I don't know, but in a romanticized way, it would be nice, like,
You
to
know.
see a united Ireland.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you know, it wouldn't be celebrated by everybody. Definitely not. You know.
Yeah, just to make history full circle. I mean, that's the main thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
At the end of the
but
day.
it always does, sort of, doesn't it? Like if you go back and back and back and back and back, everything does sort of go in that full circle.
Yeah.
By the end of it, you know. So, I think, like we were saying about probability earlier, the probability of Ireland being united again is probably very high.
Here's what
Just
I
like
don't-
you said, the timeline isn't.
Yeah.
We don't know the timeline, but if it takes like a year or 100 or 200 or 300 years, eventually that probably will happen. Like, you know.
Here's what I don't understand, right? And try and explain it if you can, right? Like Protestants and Catholics, right, is pretty much English and Irish, and
Well, that's not necessary.
down to it, like-
But then that's what I'm saying. We kind of I think we misunderstand that, because like think of the amount of Protestants that support Ireland.
Yeah.
Football teams and shit like that,
Yeah.
and Ireland
Yeah.
as a country.
oh
when it
yeah,
goes
and even
does anything,
but
they're
that's
still like
there's
we're Irish.
There's Irish people that support Man United and British teams, but
No. I mean, that support Ireland, like in rugby, the country,
Yeah.
or the football team Ireland,
yeah,
not
yeah. And the
England. Like
Protestants,
they will follow Ireland as a country, as their country. You know.
But besides my point, it's like when you're looking back in history and you're seeing it's pretty much the English came to Ireland, took over, and you know oppressed us. Whereas if you're on the other side, what do they think? Right? Because they believe, and I'm not trying to be sectarian or anything. If you're listening to this, I'm just trying to like get to the bottom of it. Like the other side, what do they believe that is like that makes them
It
sort
was,
of
it was all the Jewish people on it.
what's the
I'll
word?
tell
I'm
you
looking
what
for?
it
Makes
is.
them think they're the right ones in history. You know
Well,
what I mean?
it's not
what
the
it is.
same as like.
I'll tell you what it is.
But it's not the same as Ukraine
Pride
now.
on both sides,
Yeah.
and blood on both sides.
But not
Blood's
even
been
pride.
spilt, and that stays in the families and stays.
I think now it's got distorted to maybe something like that, you know. But like, obviously, no one wants to think they're the bad guy in any story, unless you're a
Yeah.
fucking psychopath. Everybody thinks they're on the right side. So it's the same as like most Russian people going into Ukraine now and doing whatever they're fucking doing, even though I don't care. It's just a good metaphor. Like, they think that they're helping Ukraine.
Yeah.
You know, and there is definitely some Ukrainians, I'm sure, that want Russia to come in and take over.
Do you
It's
think that
not
was
just-
what it was about with the English? They thought obviously the higher ups in the crown didn't think this, but they made the English people believe that
Yeah.
they were coming in to help savages and helping our
Yeah.
economy and stuff.
Man, like 100%. Like, there's so many 1916 and War of Independence interviews of, say, like British soldiers, RAC constables, auxiliaries, all this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And they're just like, you can see how upset they are in the
Yeah.
interview. There's this interview of a 1916 veteran, British soldier, and the interviewer asked him, like, do you know, how did you feel about the executions and all? You can see him, his lip is quivering in it, like, he's nearly about to tear up. He's an old man, like, do you know what I mean? So you feel so bad for people like that. Like, do you know, he joined the army for a job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, he didn't really know any better.
I used to
like,
work
you know?
with a guy who was in the British Army in the times of the Troubles here. He ended up staying here and married an Irish woman. But like his mindset, he was a young, impressionable English man who joined the army, and what he was told he believed. So he thought he was going over to help a country get out of whatever turmoil. Like he said, like you don't ask details. You don't ask. You're told you're going into somewhere that's in chaos,
peace, you're a
and you're
peacekeeper.
there to fix it.
Yeah.
And that's what he thought.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it is that thing of like, whatever side you're on, you don't think you're the bad guy, like, unless
Yeah.
you're fucking, you know what I mean, a lunatic.
Well, then when it boils down to people that can like actively see history now, like our age or younger or whatever, but they're still on this side of like,
And that's where the
like people
distortions happen.
like
though.
say like the 12th bonfire night when they're
Yeah.
putting Irish people and they're like burning Irish flags
That's
and
the
stuff.
distortion, isn't it? So it's
Yeah.
it's got from
It's
a
a
point
radicalism,
of
I
like,
suppose.
it's got to a point of where, like, obviously at the start we're talking about, for whatever reason things happen, and you took whatever side you took for whatever belief you had. But now it's got into a thing of where you just take on the thing of your family. So like you said, if your family household support Man United, you all do.
Yeah.
If your family are all go out the 12th and burn Irish people in the bonfire, you do. You don't ask why though. Like, if you ask most Protestants, like, why do you hate Catholics?
They
Because they're
don't know.
fucking Catholics, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
There doesn't go beyond that thought.
It's the same
just
way, like,
it is
you know.
what it is now.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
it. You know.
Like, education in history really is just number one, isn't it? Like, it's
Yeah,
so, for both sides, like, you know, for everyone.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just maybe letting go as well at this point. Just letting go and moving past some shit, you know.
Which is hard for some people.
Fucking right it
You
is.
know, which is hard
Fucking
for some
right it
people.
is.
Like obviously, it's not hard for us. We've never.
But that's
we've
the
never
thing, like-
seen any of it. We
No.
never
Yeah.
tasted any of it.
Well, a wee bit when we were kids, like
I
getting stopped
equated,
and all.
yeah. I
Getting
equated
stopped
to
and
like
searched and all that crack.
when black people say, you know, are we like they're still holding on to slavery, even though it wasn't them.
Yeah.
It's like we shouldn't be able to hold on to like our Irish history because it didn't happen to us. Not really, you know. But like,
But then it's that same thing as like the black people in America and the Irish people here believe it still affects their day-to-day life in some aspect of where you can run into
Racism. anyway,
racism.
really.
Yeah,
Well,
racism.
that's it. You can't
racism,
stop a
you know,
racist
like,
from being racist. Like, you
and
know?
that's the same here.
You know?
just like
You
your
can
mom.
have some choices made on you based on your second name
Well, just
and how you
our-
sound and whatever else.
Just there like 2 weeks ago, there was
You
a
know?
guy. Can't remember where it was up north somewhere. He was just beat up and his car was fucked for wearing a GAA top.
Yeah,
You
like
know?
shit like
Serious?
that. Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah.
It's strange, you know.
I actually remember when I was 14, I'd say, or 15, our school hurling team went up to play a few matches up in Belfast actually, and we were going on a bus through the city, and we were all told to take off our GAA gear, like
Yeah.
put on
That's it.
clothes
It's
or whatever.
that bad up there. Like we were talking on podcast before. When we were kids, we come from a very Catholic neighbourhood, and see if you had the British flag on your shoes, which there was.
It was Adidas, was it? Or Kappa?
No, it was Reebok.
Reebok.
Like if you had Reebok shoes, you had to scribble out the British flag, or you'd be beat up. You'd be beat up, like so
Really, yeah.
it happens in both areas. You
and
know,
Kappa as well. You couldn't wear Kappa. Do you remember that?
And
That
even-
clothing make it was like it was two naked women, right? The
Yeah.
logo was two naked women leaning up against each other's backs, but it made the Union Jack shape.
No way.
You couldn't wear that.
Yes,
You
yes,
couldn't wear that.
yeah, I remember.
Remember?
That. And even if you were wearing like red, white, and blue,
Really?
like I remember wearing a France top when I was a kid, and take it off.
Funny how silly that is. Looking
It is. That's the silliness of it.
Yeah, very silly.
What's it like now?
It is better.
It's still
think
bad.
at the moment,
But then
that
maybe not
neighbourhood's
around our age
far
group.
more. It's far more mixed with cultures as well now. There's like Polish and there's Romanians and there's a lot more mixed kids nowadays. Like,
Yeah.
but now it's
But
it's
they're
more mental
still
than it ever
Catholics.
was,
Well, here-
but it's not
here-
Catholic Protestant. It's just mental. It's
Here's
just
the thing.
fucking
Maybe
kids are
I
mental.
can't say for kids because kids are kids and they'll fucking do. But around our age group, it's only prevalent in places where it always was, But I would say, like where we're from, you wouldn't really get it that much. Like no one really cares anymore. Like you bored, Jake?
Really?
You fucking bored, Jake?
Yeah.
Fucking
You're boring
cunt.
me. You're boring me.
That gives me a hard on.
No, it still is. It still is. It's not because we wouldn't see it, because why would we? But let's be honest, if someone walked into that estate right now with a full Union Jack tracksuit
I don't think-
and started running about going fucking
Well, yeah. If they're looking for
fuck
trouble, you're looking for
Celtic
trouble.
or
like,
whatever,
yeah.
right? You're gonna get beat up.
Well, if you're looking
You know
for
what I
trouble,
mean?
yeah.
Well,
You'll
okay,
walk
even
through it.
I don't
Yeah,
know if you would.
you would.
I don't know if you would. If you walk through in a full Union Jack
I think you'd be
tracksuit,
alright.
You'd be alright.
I think you'd be
People
alright.
probably just walk by and be like, fuck up, would you?
Unless it's the middle of
Quick
the
yell
night,
about it.
maybe you'd be. Unless it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, you're walking through it. You might walk
I think
into
you'd
the
be
wrong
alright.
I
person.
don't know, like.
Well, if you're walking into the wrong person,
And you couldn't do it.
You know?
You couldn't do that. You couldn't wear a tricolour tracksuit and walk down the Shankill. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
well,
But you're
that's
saying
different,
that's what I'm
like,
saying. You're saying no, that's different, but it's not that
But it's different. No, it's different in that it's not prevalent in day-to-day life, as in you have to go looking for it now. You really do have to go looking for it.
Aye, but like
it
you
can
have to.
creep
If
up.
you're
like,
sticking
but,
out like a sore
yeah,
thumb,
yeah, yeah.
do you know what I'm
But
saying?
that's
Like,
asking for trouble, and that's different.
is
like.
it though?
Yeah.
Just wearing. Should
Yeah.
that be asking for trouble though? Just
It shouldn't
wearing.
be, no.
That's what I'm saying.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be,
Wear
but
whatever you
yeah.
want. Because if you wore,
but if you're
a
smart
fucking
enough, if you're smart
Jamaican
enough to
flag,
know, but if you're
Yeah.
smart enough to
no one say
know,
fucking shit.
fair enough, it shouldn't be. But if you're smart enough to know that that's just how it is,
Yes,
and,
obviously,
and
you
you
know.
shouldn't,
Obviously.
then you are asking for trouble. Like,
But if you wore Jamaican flag tracksuit anywhere in Belfast, either side, no one's saying anything.
Well, when did the Jamaicans invade this country?
I'm just saying it's still just flag.
Jamaican
still
bastards.
just colours. It's still just.
I love your gingerbread.
Do you know what I mean? It's still just fucking colours.
Yeah.
It shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't.
It
Obviously.
shouldn't. I don't think it should
But I
cause
think-
that much of a trouble.
I think it's going in the right direction because you do see it a lot in, like, even just us, right? Do you care
Well,
about Protestant Catholics?
no.
Exactly. So our
I
generation
care.
doesn't.
This is what I care about.
I
If
care
you're
about
a
yous
dick
all
to
loving
me,
each
you know,
other.
if you're a dick to me or not.
Yeah.
That's what
So
I care about.
our
So if you come up to
generation
me and
is the
start being
yeah.
like fucking this and that, and you're like,
I think our generation is the first generation, and the generations after us now are the people who've grown up now that are grown up with Protestant people, they're grown up with Catholic people, and they're all friends. And
Yeah.
when it boils down to it, you're like, why would I
Yeah.
care about that?
Yeah.
I think we've gotten out of it.
Yeah, in
know.
that sense.
In that sense, we've gotten out of it.
But there's always
Unless
radicals. There's
But then we
always
say
radicals.
that, and
Unless,
then
you
you
Yeah.
could ask 10
anything
Protestants the same thing, and they could
ignites a
completely
fucking,
disagree.
You know, like you
You
said,
know?
like a fucking a free Ireland ignites something.
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't know.
We'll have loads
I
of
think we're
Protestant
out of it.
friends.
But
like,
if
you
there
know.
was a United Ireland, that might change. To be fair, like how many? Okay, so it's that same sort of question about like if there was a nuclear fallout, would everybody eat each other, or would we all get along? You know what I mean? So say if there was a United Ireland, metaphorically and literally. So if there was a United Ireland,
Yeah,
how many people within the north of this country,
half the
Right.
population is
right?
Protestant. So
I bet how many of them, right, are willing enough to fight for what they talk about on a day-to-day basis. So like how many would literally, if it happened tomorrow and there was a United Ireland, would just go, right, that's it, is what it is, complain about it a wee bit, maybe, you know, like have a wee fucking meeting here and there, but how many people would actually go, fuck this,
I'm doing something about
and
it.
start a fight, like start
War?
violence?
I don't know,
You know?
but definitely some of them.
Or-
like
Or
There's always that one person in there.
does that have to be, does the violence part have to start with a chaotic governmental, like so say England just agreed to it and was like, yeah, we're done, have it back,
we're on England's side
Right.
then because they're
and then would they be like, right, fuck it, that's amicable, it's happened the way it's happened, I just have to go with whatever way my sovereignty has said we have to? Or like if Ireland then again said we're leaving England, not through a peace treaty, not through signing anything, we're just fucking leaving and that's it, then does that start the civil war? Do you know what I'm saying?
don't know.
So like
Well,
how many
I mean-
people would follow the sovereignty that far if they're part of the British rule and the British rule, that's their choice to leave Ireland?
People are quite
They
blind.
should then still follow the sovereignty's choice and accept it.
Yeah,
Does that make
I don't
sense?
it would.
All I can say is people are very easily led onto anything really these days. Like if COVID taught us anything, like, you know, fucking people are gullible, you know, and it's as easy as, you know, just saying, you know, go on over to that country,
Like sheep.
fucking, and protect them people again,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but like with our generation, the one below us and the one below that again, then I presume the conflict is just going to completely wear away.
It
Yeah,
will,
I
think,
reckon
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I think so. Like it'll probably be forgotten because
What-
it'll be so far removed as well by that point.
What is
Yeah,
like
you know?
the North's? What does it look like in the eyes of like people down here? What do you see the North as? Like what? It's
don't-
that's a weird question.
What,
I don't really know.
are you talking about the land or the cities?
Like
or?
just as a whole, like what is the North like? Because when I think of the Republic of Ireland, I think of, you know, Irish music, Irish people, beautiful lands and stuff. But like if I assume people think of the North and think conflict, you know. Stuff
Yeah, it's
like
probably
that.
like the first thing that comes to your head, yeah,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah.
Especially when you're from down here, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're just hearing about all this stuff, you're not really witnessing it,
Yeah.
you know? Because like I would have grown up towards the end of the conflict, I suppose, like 93, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, like we wouldn't really know much about it, I guess, unless you're actually interested in it and you pursue like learning about it.
Yeah.
But I suppose our opinion of it down here probably seems a bit wild, I suppose, a bit
Yeah.
mad, because a lot of us grew up during that period of the conflict, like, you know.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
kind of thought
Yeah.
of the North as like,
And that
Jesus,
wasn't really
like,
going
you know,
on down here at all. Like
Exactly, it wasn't going on down here at all. Like, really.
Like, would you have
Well,
been-
not at all, but like very little. You
Yeah.
know.
So would that have been like we're not fucking going up there? Like, you know, if anybody said I have to go up here to do that, you're like, gee, you're going to fucking Belfast? Like, why?
When I
it
was
that
younger,
sort of-
yeah, that was the thing. Like when I was a teenager, I remember going to Belfast. The first time I was ever in the North was when I went to Belfast when I was like 14 or something like that. And at the time, yeah, 100%.
scar
Yeah.
for your life. Like,
Like now, not at all. Like now,
Oh,
not
yeah.
at all. I love
I
going up
honestly,
there.
yeah.
Like, I always
Yeah.
have loved going up there, but now I wouldn't even think twice about it. Even though I don't know what it's really like up there anymore. Like
Yeah.
I've been to the North maybe 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
Do you know, that's not that much. Like,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
lifetime.
So I wouldn't know it that well. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
it's pretty safe now, except
It
for,
is
like
just
for the radical
certain-
places.
Yeah, there's
you know.
places that you don't go, but there's also
Yeah.
places that are Catholic that I wouldn't particularly want to walk down.
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
just
It's not
assholes.
based on, just
everywhere.
assholes in general.
There's assholes everywhere.
Because at the end of the day, paramilitaries these days, they're not what they used to be. They're not.
I'm
It's not like
talking
Michael
I'm not
Collins is
talking
running the fucking
paramilitaries
IRA
here.
anymore. You know,
I'm
it's
not talking
fucking.
paramilitaries. I'm just talking about
Yeah.
a couple of hoods with the wrong ideas.
But that is the paramilitaries now. Hoods with wrong ideas. That's paramilitaries now. You know what I mean?
Apologies, we don't mean that.
Well, we're paramilitaries.
Get him. Fuck's sake.
This is the first time we've actually made this an IRA podcast. We're going to what it should be, boys.
Let's go back to the leprechauns. Come on.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
So we'll sort of close it out with any sort of stories or anything.
Could you tell us a wee story?
Maybe like an Irish history sort of thing. Like what's
That'd be nice.
I don't know. Like I want to bring this back to like a nice Irish place
do you?
because you're an Irish history YouTuber. And,
Did you say you want a nice Irish history story? Is there such thing?
no, definitely not.
The darker the better. Like history is always dark and grimy.
Yeah,
Most of what I cover is just so dark. Like,
that's
And
Irish history. Yeah.
not just Irish history.
Famine and death.
I'm more into
Morbid.
American history.
No, I love that as well. Like,
For me, I go very deep into that. And to be fair,
American history is
medieval
Irish history.
Not really. Medieval history as well. Not based on the families, but based on the actual fucking savageness of it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what's interesting sometimes.
Did you ever see? I was watching a YouTube video before about how people slept in Victorian London, and like it was that compact and that fucked that they would pay to sleep in pretty much stalls that you stood up in just to get out of the rain. And the fuck. They just huddled these men in and they stood there. And you had to pay for that, and that was just to get off the streets for the night.
Crazy, like
you know,
the Crusades, like that's a good one. That's a fun one to look into. Like, that's just like what 100 years of rape and murder. Like it's bad. Like history does that. But please,
Let's hear a morbid story.
the darker the better.
Yeah, full of these. Yeah, you'll actually see on my channel every few weeks. I'll have like something different on my channel, like something to do with Irish music or something. That's me hitting a point where I'm like, oh Jesus, this is just too intense.
It's cool. Irish music.
Yeah, 100%. Something to lighten the situation up a bit.
Yeah.
But story. What do you want a story about, boys?
Michael Collins.
John, a family history story actually. Right? Well, it's not much of a story. It happened like a few days ago now, but this is kind of mad, right?
Sister went to the dentist.
In Ireland.
This is wild, right? So I'm building my family tree for the last like 3 months or so, right? Mother's family was easy. Father's family took months. It's just a mess because all the Holdens, like all my fathers say like brothers, uncles, grandfather, all this stuff, they all stayed in South Kilkenny. So there's just hundreds of Holdens down there at one point when I was doing my family tree, right? So it's a pure nightmare because everyone has the same name: Sean Holden, John Holden, Pat Holden, and you don't know who's who, right? Anyway, it's done now. But I put up a post the other day on my Instagram. As I was doing my family tree, I found a picture of my great-great-grandparents, right? Had never seen them before. They're from Clare and New Ross. Put up the picture on my Instagram. I was like, oh, I just found this picture today when I was doing some family research. Madness, you know, from the late 1800s. Woke up to a message on Instagram the following morning being like, oh, well, Davy, my name is Kelly. I'm from San Francisco, and they're my great-grandparents.
Jesus.
I was like, what the fuck? Is this someone taking the piss, like, or are they serious? But no, 100%, yeah. So
that's class.
So you just found new family then?
New family in San Francisco, yeah. And I just randomly posted this picture on my Instagram. Like,
and they seen it?
Full the odds are, look.
I don't know how they seen it because she didn't follow me either.
What are the odds?
So I don't actually know.
But that does happen. There's definitely some
Maybe she was
things.
typing in her name or something, holding your fucking...
Yeah. And did she tell you anything about them?
Yeah, loads.
Right.
Loads.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's the crack with them then?
A lot of revolutionary Irish history involved.
Right.
Yeah.
Class.
Which is cool to hear. Like, I mean,
right.
they had like, so his family, my great-great-grandfather's family, would have had an IRA safe house in County Clare.
Fuck.
And then my great-great-grandmother's sister would have been a hunger striker down in Cork.
Fuck.
Fuck.
One of their brothers again was a clerk in Dublin. Apparently he was chatting to Michael Collins. You know the way Michael Collins had a load of spies in Dublin Castle and that? Apparently he was working with Collins.
It's insane, like, isn't it?
And yeah, it's nuts, like, yeah. So
class.
loads of revolutionary history in the family that I just never even knew about. Like
That's really cool.
Like, what's that? 2 degrees of separation from Michael Collins. Like, it's mad. Like,
yeah. So that only happened a few days ago. Yeah, but that was nuts.
blew your mind. Like,
Yeah, mental.
fucking hell. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that was
Podcast just 3 seconds.
huh?
Have you done 23andMe?
No, I'd love to.
It's phenomenal.
Really?
Tell you,
23andMe.
your matches, and then it'll go right across the world.
Really?
Brilliant.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
Flag that anyway, Gareth.
Jake,
They'll clone you.
Jake, you might have like black in you or something. What do you
Oh,
think?
no way, Hank.
No, maybe. What do you think?
Fuck, maybe.
Yeah. Just do it. You never know. You never know.
Might be.
You know,
You might have. I can't say it on the podcast, didn't you?
Oh!
Yeah.
flagged it.
I was going to say, but sure. Go ahead.
Well, that was lovely.
That was
Davy.
fun.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much for letting us do this.
And do we get to keep a gun, or are we not supposed? Does anyone know about these?
Airsoft. There are soft guns.
Airsoft guns.
they're not
right?
mine for the record.
Yeah, they're not his.
They're
They're
yours.
his.
Airsoft guns. That's right.
Nothing
Yeah.
there, mate. Looking at a wall, mate. Jesus Christ.
Never actually done a gun run. Here, hang on, do this here while we're on the podcast as well.
Oh, yes. Let's see this.
What is it?
It's a wee gift.
Ah, you
Well,
legend.
is this a sponsor, isn't it? So.
This week's episode was sponsored by Bud Light here, and I.
Baked potato and I.
Legends. Hit them up on Insta. Let's go. Woo! 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 Yep.
Not necessarily a sponsor.
It's a gift for.
We'll shout
for
it out.
the-
This is Reconstructions, The Troubles in Photographs and Words. And this is by a friend of the podcast, Stefan Hanvey.
Shout out.
Photographed by Bobby Hanvey. So
Shout-
thank you very much for listening. This is a wee gift for you.
Ah, yeah,
Let's put that down
legends.
for you.
All right.
Thanks a million.
So
That is class.
there you go. You'll find something in there worth.
There'll be a few videos made out of this book, I'll tell you that.
A lot of propaganda in there.
Sound out, lads. Jeez,
All right.
thanks a
Thank
million.
you very
No
much.
worries. Thanks for having us
Thank you.
down, man. Enjoyed it.
Sound for making the trip down.
Fuck.
It was only 4
It
hours.
was only a 4-hour drive.
It's only a 4-hour journey. Anything for you,
Got a
David.
Krispy Kreme on the way down.
That'd be worth it. Yeah.
Sorted. in that
We're
way.
gonna go blow up the fucking. Who's involved in clamping cars in this country?
That would be the county council.
Right.
Right, we're going there. Where's that?
We're not doing that. Grab the guns. On go.
Right. See you all later. Love yous and leave yous. Bye.
Salon.
To leave the fucking cocksucking cheese where it is.
This man